Hi, hello, welcome to 3.7.1, the diffusion of language. This is your first part of 3.7, where we're taking a look at diffusion of language and religion. In 3.7, we're looking at what factors lead to the diffusion of language. So basically what linguistic geographers study is where do languages start, how do they move around, so diffusion, and where is their distribution today, basically. So you're going to want to be used to this image. This kind of pops up quite a bit when we're talking about linguistic geography. So a language family is the largest group of related languages that are connected through common ancient ancestry and then go back to a common Hearth. So like we look at this kind of tree here, these all connect to Indo-European languages, for example. So Indo-European is the largest language family with about 3.2 billion speakers distributed around the world. So if we kind of trace this all the way up, we've got Spanish, English, Russian, Hindi kind of going through here basically. So a lot of things connect to Indo-European. The next largest is the Sino-Tibetan, which is the second largest with 1.4 billion speakers, mostly in East and Southeast Asia. We also have a language branch. These are a collection of languages that share a common origin from thousands of years ago. They were separated from other languages in their family and are now distinctive, although related. So we see West Germanic over here, or Germanic in general. Germanic, West Germanic, we got German, English, Dutch. Those are all connected. We come over here to Romantic. We've got Portuguese, Spanish, French. These are all related together, basically. So for example, we have the Romance branch. This includes Spanish, Portuguese, French, and Italian. The Germanic branch, again, includes German, English, Dutch. We also have what's called a language group. These are a collection of languages that share a more recent past with similar vocabularies, and there's some overlap. So, for example, there's a lot of similarities for those of you who maybe speak Spanish already, and then you go take French class, or you look at Portuguese. There's a lot of similarities between the languages, Portuguese, Italian, Spanish. Same thing here with West Germanic. Dutch and Africans will have more similarities than with their North Germanic ancestors and vice versa. So here we take a look here online. Most websites, over half of the websites in the world, use English as their primary language, but number of first language speakers worldwide is going to be Chinese. So Chinese has the most native language speakers. That's like their first language, and then it goes down to Spanish, English, Arabic, and Hindi. We have dialects. These are variations of a standard language distinguished by differences in vocabulary and word choice, pronunciation, speed, and spelling. Smallest amount of speakers develop due to migration and isolation from original language. We also have something called the isogloss, which is the geographic boundary within which a particular linguistic feature occurs. These basically divide dialects. So, for example, sometimes if you guys have like Nike shoes, most of us call it tennis shoes, but then there are reasons where they maybe call it sneakers or gym shoes, and so these are examples of isogloss in different dialects. The most common dialect you might think about is the phrase soda. A lot of times we would call it soda. Most commonly in the southwest or southeast we say Coke. In some places, especially in the north and Midwest and the north, and we have the west, we have pop. We'll see it a lot. Very rarely do people say soft drink, but these are just different ways. They're generic terms basically for the carbonated beverages. So like nobody usually says I want to go get a soft drink, I want to go get a soda. Usually people say I want to go get a Coke, when they might actually be like a Dr. Pepper or something, if they're speaking generically. Then you have a cultural hearth. So remember, a cultural hearth is where something starts and traits leave out of the hearth. So remember, these are ancient and modern cultural hearths. Historic causes of diffusion are things like colonialism, military conquest, trade, and migration. So think about, for example, how Spanish and Portuguese ended up in Latin America. We know that's through colonization. When Spain and Portugal make their way into Latin America, they're bringing with them their Spanish and Portuguese languages, and that's how those get into Latin America. So we talk about two major theories. We have the Kurgan warrior theory. This is an Indo-European language first diffused from Hearths, located in modern UK and Russia around 1000 BCE. And then the Kurgans were nomadic warriors who conquered their way through Europe and South Asia, spreading their language. So this is the idea of how Indo-European languages spread out. And so this diffusion happened through migration and military conquest. Something really interesting too, a lot of languages share words for snow, but not the word sea. So people will say snow, 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 but maybe someone will say ocean or sea or whatever. So what this tells us is that maybe the language originated in somewhere where they have snow, but they may not necessarily have access to an ocean, meaning they're landlocked. So this is something we trace. We also have the Anatolian farmer theory. This is the adoption of Indo-European languages that was facilitated through successful agricultural practices. Basically, as agriculture became more successful, food became more successful, populations increased, and you have more trade, you have more migration, and this also led to the spread of Indo-European languages as well. So this diffusion is through migration. So these are a couple of ideas spread out here, basically. This is essentially what you need to know for this topic. If you have any questions, make sure you ask, make sure you take your notes. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in class. Thank you.